Welcome back to the Hopeful Simplicity Podcast. I'm Melissa, and I'm here to help you simplify your home with small space successes. Today, we're opening the medicine cabinet, one of the easiest but most impactful resets of your bathroom. These little shelves, they often hide expired medicines, half-used products, and clutter that doesn't belong there. And when you actually need something, it's just stressful to dig through that mess. And by the end of this episode, you'll know exactly how to clear the excess, organize systems that stay, and create a safe and functional medicine cabinet that makes daily life simpler. So why does the medicine cabinet matter? You're like, it's a small space. Does it really matter? I'll just get to it when I get to it, or if I don't need it all the time, why would I fix it now? But the difference is when you do need it, you probably don't feel great. And you really need it. Either you need it or you need something to get for the kids or you have a sick partner or whatever. Like when you get in that medicine cabinet, it's an intentional reason. And the last thing you need to do is get something expired, outgrown, that you don't need anymore and dig through stuff because it's one more minute somebody's missing out. So expired medicines, not only can they be unsafe, they aren't effective. They don't take the impact that a non-expired medicine does. You don't go to the pharmacy and pick up a prescription bottle that says, okay, just take whenever you need, expiration date when you see the light, right? Like there's an expired date when you go to the pharmacy. Take these 10 pills, 2 a day for the next 5 days. There's a reason that those are so specific. So even if it's just over-the-counter stuff, so if you go and you grab the headache relief stuff or the cough and cold stuff, or I'm not going to do any name brands or product names like that because I'm not affiliated, so they don't have permission. So we're going to just stick to the generics. But if you pick up something like that, and then you pick up something like that next time you go to the store because you forgot you had it, and then you pick up the next time you go to the store because you forgot you had it, now you have 3 boxes of cough and cold medicine. But you only get a cold in the fall, right? When the seasons change, or in the beginning of the new year when the kids go back to school, like most of us. So now you have multiple boxes. But by the time the next cold season comes around, they're expired. They're almost a year old at this point in time. So you're not going to double up because we're talking about medicine. So that's unsafe for our systems. But also, like, they're not going to be effective. You're going to go to the store and pick another box up. So let's get rid of the expired ones, especially those things that, those SERPs or sprays that have the click-on caps that when you take the cap off, it's kind of like crusty and icky. That's expired. You don't even need to check the date. If it's icky or gross, or you look at it and go, I should wash that off first. No, let's just call it expired and get rid of it. Because it's gross and medicines are supposed to help you, and that just is unsafe. Now let's go back to where you had all those multiple boxes. Can we talk about being unused for an entire year, which is insane because you check out your bathroom and do a quick declutter every 6 months, but you have way too much. You've overstocked. So once you shift seasons of life, say you've overstocked on kids' nighttime cough and cold medicine, but now they're teenagers. So they're past the weight limit that a cap full of that kid's cough and cold stuff is going to matter. So no, never mind if you had just bought it last week and you're like, oh, crickets, that's the wrong one, because they're past the age that this will work. They're past the weight limit that this will actually be helpful. They are into the more adult products. So you have these not just expired things piling up, but now you're overloaded with stuff. Multiples of things not being used or going unused, or you know what, you got grape flavor, but they're only going to do bubblegum flavor. So now what do you do with the grape flavor? We hope it's unopened and you can give it to your cousins' kids. But those are the things that just kind of sit there, especially when it comes to medicine. We're like, okay, what do I do with it? Right? Like, I don't want to just throw it in the trash. I don't want to just toss it out. And something's changed from when I was young that you can't just flush it. So check with your local area pharmacies and or your local area police department. A lot of them will have a DEA drop box, which means you can drop off expired or unused medicines in a safer fashion. So next time you run to your donation center drop, say you do donations on Thursdays or Wednesdays or whenever you do that, now you just stop twice. Maybe you're stopping 3 or 4 times. Maybe that's your run and drop day. I'm going to drop this bag of old clothes at the Goodwill. I'm going to drop this bag of unused and expired medicine at the DEA box. I'm going to drop this bag of return books to the library. I'm going to drop this stuff back at so-and-so's house because we borrowed it for the holiday. So that way you have it built into your schedule, but you also have it in a system that it doesn't add more to your schedule. It's just a built-in day that's when you drop off things. And now you're just going to drop off and get rid of those expired and unused medicines. You won't have an overloaded clutter habit like cabinet in your bathroom because it's clogging up space. You just don't need them. And you don't need the random extras for just in case. Like, do you need 4 thermometers when that one is everyone's favorite? No, you sure don't. Same with Band-Aids. You don't always need new Band-Aids, especially if they have an organized home, which we'll get to later. You don't always need more just because it's random and you think you might. Get what you know, keep what you use, and the rest, just let that stuff go. You only need what you're going to need within that time frame of needing it. Like the cold medicine. Don't overstock it just because it's on sale and we always use it. Okay, but if you only always use it this time and this time, then don't get it for the next time. Because then you're back to overstuffing and overloading that medicine cabinet. And like we said before, you do not need it to be clutter and chaos, because when you need that stuff, you need that stuff to be accessible without the extra stress. If you've ever opened your medicine cabinet and felt more stress than relief, you're not alone, friend. I want to take a quick pause here and remind you that if you want more guidance, there's a whole bathroom reset. There's multiple resets inside the library, one for decluttering, one for organizing. There's a 30-day reset if you just want to hit the room in full. All of that's inside the library, and there's a 30-day free trial. So you can pop in there, grab your free trial, check out all the goodies, reset the spaces in your bathroom, and then you just walk through the steps after you subscribe. Okay, I want to talk a little more about simplifying. We know we're going to declutter expired, outgrown, and unused items. We know if we have too much and we're not going to use it in the next 6 months, if we're not going to keep it. But it's beyond the dates, right? The non-medical stuff. Maybe you don't need to keep everything in the medicine cabinet. Maybe you need to keep the seasonal stuff, like those cough and cold things that you only use twice a year, somewhere else. Maybe you have a medicine box under the sink in the bathroom, or a medicine container in the linen closet just down the hall. So those are separate from the medicine cabinet. It really just depends on the size and the use of the items of your space. So if you have a super small medicine cabinet, keep your daily needs in there. Maybe your rotational vitamins and meds that you use every day or every week stays in there. A handful of Band-Aids or the tweezers for those splinters that we get. But everything else can be relocated. Don't forget, like when you're simplifying, you can keep stuff if it serves you. But you don't have to keep it right here. You can always keep it, but rehome it. All right, let's move into the sorting, because that's where we're going to set up organizing needs. Now, you've gotten rid of all that chaos and clutter. So you're like, sweet, I don't have to dig through stuff. It's already simpler. Let's make it an organized spot. And we're going to do that by grouping. We're going to group things into zones that we use. Do you need a first aid? So you grab this little first aid bundle, or this part of the second shelf is everything first aid. So you got the, air quote, as my son used to say, no, not the brown bottle that hurts, but you pour it on there and it bubbles. Yeah, we're that household. So maybe you have that, or the anti-infection cream that you put on, and you've got Band-Aids of a couple different sizes. So you have a first aid section. Maybe you have a skincare section for heat rashes, diaper rashes, whatever inflictions may happen. Like, I used to get hives often when the stress was too high and things like that. So I had a special cream that I used. So that would be in the skincare section. And it doesn't have to be icky things like that. Maybe you just have all my facial cleansers and lotions go in this section. That's how I care for my skin. And it just happens to have to live in the medicine cabinet because the vanity space is set up differently. And that's okay. Just make sure you're keeping everything you need grouped together in that zone. Perhaps there's a daily meds. Maybe you have one of those pre-sorted, pre-divided day of the week ones that you fill up every week, and you just keep that in there. Now, if there's multiple people in the medicine cabinet, which most of the people in this community, there are multiple people in and out of this space, even if it's just the adults, let's make sure it's very clear. Like if he uses his scarekin stuff and it stays in the medicine cabinet, then let's dedicate this small container to it. I'll tell you right now, pencil holders are amazing inside medicine cabinets, especially if they're like the thin ones behind the mirror. Those are not, let me get a 10 by 12 basket and set it here sized. They are, oh, I hope it doesn't fall off the shelf sized. But if you get pencil containers or drawer organizers or smaller things like that, then that makes it easier to group not only by zones of use and products, like you could have a first aid mini container, you could have a skincare for her mini container, and you can have like a daily meds mini container. Or just that shelf is all daily meds. It's got your Monday through Sunday divider, and it's got some headache medicine sitting next to it. Those are the things that you can actually work through zoning. And if you need that extra, oh, I'm going to take this out and use it, consider putting a container on those shelves. Once you've got it all sorted, it's easier to get through. So you've decluttered, you've got rid of all those things that you aren't going to use. And now you are into the sorting part where you're grouping with zone by zone. Maybe the shelves are the zones, or you have bins on the shelves, or you got 2 medicine cabinet, his and hers, hot dog, right? Whatever that looks like. Just make sure as you're doing it, that eye level spot, that one shelf in the middle that you open it and it looks at you, that's your prime real estate. So if you use your medicine and skincare every single day, work from that shelf and then move outward. So if you don't use the first aid stuff all the time, put that on a higher shelf or put that on the bottom shelf. Just make sure that eye level one is staying for the first reach items as you get into the medicine cabinet, because that will be your prime real estate shelf. I want to hit pause for just a second and ask you to think, what's the oldest or most random thing in your medicine cabinet? This week, we're committing to tossing that out. So you've decluttered everything, you got rid of the stuff we aren't using, you've set up zones based on type, product, use, person inside the medicine cabinet. Now what do? Now we keep it that way. Now we keep it clear and organized and calmer and safer. That's what this third part of the 3S method is. Remember, it's a sustaining step. You've done the hard work. You've decluttered. You've done the, okay, what do I do to make this work of these sorting and organizing. Now we want to keep it that way. Now we want to check in with it at least every 6 months. You may do it when the seasons change because your needs might change. Maybe that first aid box becomes a middle shelf eye level option during the summer because that's when the bikes come out. That's when the activities happen. That's when they go outside because it's summertime habits, right? Like that's when we really need the first aid more than we do the headache medicine. So let's switch those around. Or let's swap the headache medicine for the cough and cold stuff come back to school season because that's, let's be honest, that's when the ick and germs happen. That's when we really need it. And so instead of having to go to the linen closet or under the bathroom sink, you have a zone set up in your medicine cabinet in the season it's needed. And that's the power of sustaining, right? Because you're checking in with the space. Let's say you do check in with it every season. So as the seasons rotate, you do a quick, that expired, or you know what, we didn't use that. We did not end up using that when I thought we would. We're going to go ahead and do a quick declutter. We're going to rezone if it's needed. And we're just going to make sure it's limited to what we actually need inside the medicine cabinet. Do things need to be sorted and rezoned because you found that this could work better here? Don't be afraid during your sustaining step. As you're checking in with the spaces, it's your space. Make it work for you. So if you need to declutter things because you thought you were going to use them and you don't, declutter them. You have the permission to make this space work for you. As you're checking in, make sure you're not just decluttering what you don't use. Make sure you're also checking those systems. Make sure you're rotating what needs rotated when it needs rotated. And you're keeping that clutter away to make the, oh, crickets, I need this now type of emergency vibes less stressful. Because when you need something from the medicine cabinet, guess what? You need something from the medicine cabinet. You can rest easy knowing that, Oh, they woke up with a fever in the middle of the night. Crap, what do we do? Where do I find it? Where did I put that? That is the worst feeling, especially as a mom, where you're like, oh gosh, I have a sick kid. And I know I have that just somewhere, but did I put it in the linen closet? Is it in a basket under the bathroom sink? Did I put it in the kids' room on the shelf so it was handy? Did I put it in the medicine cabinet? Did I get it? Do I know I have it? Am I sure I have it? Well, I can't find it. That is the worst feeling. One of the worst feelings as a mom, because we want to take care of them, not just because we want to take care of them, but we know the sooner you tackle the cold and fever, the quicker it's better. And then you have a higher chance, hopefully, fingers crossed, that not everyone else will get sick. So making sure that space is staying clutter-free and organized and clear and safe of crap and struggles and chaos, that's a highlight of the sustaining step, because you did the hard work. So let's make sure it stays that way. Your medicine cabinet does not need to be a cluttered or confusing space. It's a simple reset, and you have exactly what you need right where you need it. You need to be able to go to that space, get what you need, find the calm, and be done with it. Next episode, we are heading to under the sink, which is one of my favorite and least favorite spaces, because without the right systems and containers, I am terrible about just tossing stuff under there. It's so much easier, especially because I'm not under there often. So while under the sink may be one of the trickiest bathroom spaces, we'll talk through the awkward storage, the hidden clutter, and how to make that space functional. And don't forget to grab the Core 4 Declutter Challenge. It's free and gives you simple resets to make your rooms that you use the most a little more hopeful. And also be sure to check out the Hopeful Simplicity Library for those guided audio resets and so many resources for members. That's it. Until next episode, stay hopeful.